All right, great. Okay, so today in this session, we're going to talk about something that is near and dear to all of us. Today, we're going to be talking about money. It it seems that we all get into trading because of money. We all get into trading because of what money can do for us. Um, so as I looked back when I was creating these aha moments and I was thinking about the things that I had done to kind of change my perspective to try to approach trading in a different fashion, and ultimately, became a full-time trader. Uh, I was creating a program, and for a teaching pro to do that, I went back and I did a period of introspection, and I realized a number of epiphanies that I had, a number of aha moments that I had that were turning points for me on getting my trading on track. One of the things that I had done during that time when I was getting my trading on track and working towards being, changing from being a failed trader to a successful trader was this introspection, and what I had realized early on in this process was that I don't really have a very good ability to manage emotions. In fact, managing my emotions as it related to trading was impossible for me. So I started thinking about that. That was something that I needed to work on. Now, the whole idea of managing my emotions, that came from me reading about that or hearing about that or however I learned about it. And we all go through the process in trading, trying to find some education that's going to help us understand better how to get an edge, right? Or how to overcome some problem that we think that we're having. So I started thinking about the fact that I was good at managing my emotions about trading, and then so I decided, what is causing this? Since I'm no good at it, maybe instead of managing my emotions, what if I removed the need to manage my emotions? So I kind of started looking at a problem that I needed to solve rather than, looking at the problem itself rather than just going along with whatever the conventional wisdom was. So I began to kind of think about what is it exactly that's causing me to be so emotional during trading, and every emotion I had related back to money. That was actually a bigger. Now it seems very obvious, right? That it all relates to money, but that was actually a big aha for me. That it it was the fact that losing money is emotional because of some reason, and we're all different. We all have different reasons why losing money it creates emotion. So when I thought about it and I kept saying manage my emotions, and started working at that, I realized, well, that's not really addressing the core of the problem now, is it? That's addressing the symptom of a problem. But again, it seems so obvious in hindsight, but all emotions about trading during, the act of trading revolves around money. Think about that. So if you think about that for a minute, I want you to look at this, and I want you to look at it. I want you to think about it. What does this picture mean to you? If this was sitting in front of you, how would you feel about this? Now, specifically, what does it smell like? What does it feel like? What emotions are you feeling about this picture? Okay? So is this happiness? Is this thrilling? Is this exciting? Is it you know what it is? It's a stack of paper. It's a stack of paper that represents something. What does it represent? A stack of paper that represents power to influence something. Power to influence your happiness by what it can do for you, by the tool that it... So the whole idea of the emotions that this money causes is related, directly related to your happiness or your need for security of some sort, which ultimately leads to fulfillment and happiness, right? So it is a representation of something that you are trying to achieve, and you don't believe you can achieve these things without it. Okay? So I had figured out that I had a very unhealthy relationship with money. This is during that session where I'm trying to kind of doing this introspection, trying to figure out why is it I can't control my emotions. It had nothing to do with controlling my emotions. It had everything to do with my unhealthy relationship with money. It made me do things that were what I would now consider in hindsight irrational. We've all heard that money is an evil, right? It makes people do things they didn't know they were capable of. Why do people commit a lot of the crimes as it relates to money? You know, they didn't see themselves as necessarily criminals, but in the quest for happiness, people are willing to do almost anything to get money. So there's the root of the problem, and that is our unhealthy relationship with this piece of paper that's nothing but a tool to help us create happiness in our lives. That's what it represents. So I started thinking, you know, there are other ways of doing that. Why does money have to be the only thing that creates happiness in our lives, or the ability to create such unhappiness in my life at the time? So when I started thinking about it, you know, and I started thinking about how trading does this, but other jobs and other professions don't really have this kind of control over us, right? Over me at the time, it was my construction business. Money was always important. I always knew that it was the end result of doing a good job. Okay, So my focus was always on my job and doing a good job, knowing full well the money's going to show up if I do a job. So my day-to-day focus was never on money. We know that if we do a good job at work, we're going to make, there's going to be money at the end of that. We don't go and sit down to write a report at work that you're required so we can go, if I write this report, I'm going to make $412. No. You write the report and you do a good job so you can keep a job, you can get a paycheck at the end of the week, and then you get to come back next week and do it again. So the focus is on doing a good job at writing a report, right? Not about how much money you're going to make writing that report. But trading seemed to have been different because you see money in front of you all the time. So it's always front of mind at all times. And it's the one thing that can make us all completely stupid because of the emotions involved. So here's what I'm going to suggest for you. And this is what I did. Many of you have been in this program, or at least for a while. So now you're either getting really good at this or at least starting to get a handle on it, this removing money from your trading. But we all tend to fall back on our natural instincts. So what I want you to do is I want you to analyze your relationship with money, whether this is the first time you're hearing this or whether you've been in this program for years. Okay? Think about how you have all emotions. I really want you to sit, and I know it can be because this is what I did. And I really had, and I did it, I actually remember I did it over a weekend. And I sat because I was trying to come up with, this, why I was such a failure at trading. And I was allowing all types of real personal and heartfelt introspection about something I had felt strongly about for so many years, and that was becoming a trader, and knowing that my roadblocks was emotions, but allowing myself to say, money can't be the cause of emotions because money is just a piece of paper and a tool. So what is it? It's the loss of potential happiness. Potential for happiness. We all relate money with happiness. Okay, so analyze your relationship with money and tell me if you think don't tell me, tell yourself if you think you have a good relationship with money. Do you need it to be happy? And then tell me, no, don't tell me. Tell yourself. Do you think people with a lot of money are more happy than you are? Or have the ability to be more happy than you are? We fantasize that that's the case because we think all of our troubles revolve around money and that if we had more money, we'd have no problems. Those people without money always believe that that's the case. Go ask them have money and ask them if they're any happier than you are. I can promise you they're not. It does not fix your problems. So after you analyze your relationship with money, and when you're trading, there's a way you can turn off the P&L on your trading dump. Don't have money staring you in the face. Okay? I want you to do this because I want you to think of this as your job. And all you have to do is execute your trade plan. It has nothing to do with money. My job is to execute the trade plan. I used to pretend when I first started doing this. When I in my construction business, we had a construction trailer where it was divided up into 3 rooms, and I had an office, and then my bookkeeper had an office right next to mine. And she was always, we basically had a door between our offices, so we all the time. But whenever I was working on my construction business, my thinking was always that she'll handle the numbers. She'll handle all that stuff. I don't have to worry about that. If she's going to do her job, let her do her job. She never went to the job site to tell my guys how to do their jobs. Okay? Her job was keeping track of numbers. So I had to play a little game in my mind when I started this. That her name was Chris. I said when Chris was sitting there, if I'm trading, I'm not going to worry about those numbers because Chris is going to handle that later. And if something needs to be brought to my attention, she would handle that. Okay? So this is how I started approaching trading. That my job as the trader doesn't involve numbers. That's the bookkeeper's job. Yes, I know you're also the bookkeeper in your business, but not while you're trading. Okay? Don't count money. Okay, we're going to do this more next week in another session about counting wins and losses instead of money. Yeah, exactly, Mike. Exactly, but people and you say Mike says retired from a job working with many multimillionaires. They're often miserable and often unenlightened. That's why I don't buy all of the law of abundance stuff. Yeah, well, you can have abundance, but it doesn't have to be stuff. You can have abundance of family and love and fun and support and all of these other things. You can have a life of abundance. It does not have to be stuff. And that's what we think is going to make us happy is stuff. Right? So don't count money, only wins and losses. This is a whole different kind of, this is kind of tuning how your brain works. This is going to help drop some of your bad habits while you're building good habits. Okay? Don't look at your daily statements that come in. I used to sit there and stare at every line. I looked at every number. I saw and I knew I had lost money that day, but still, I was looking at my statement going, oh, look how much it went down today. Oh, when I stopped thinking about money, I made a conscious effort. And you get the daily statements that get emailed to you. I have them now getting filtered directly out of my inbox and into a separate box that I never look at. Okay, yes, ones do get looked at, but I don't look at them as the lead trader of my company. I instead look at the monthly statements. But the ultimate goal in this exercise, and it takes work, right? This is going to take work. You're going to have to train your mind slowly and over time. This is how we drop bad habits and we build new good habits. It's going to take time. You're going to have to work on it. You're going to have to make a conscious effort to remove money from your trading. We are going to talk about that also in other aha moments on step-by-step process for doing that. But you've got to start thinking about your job as the lead trader of your trading business and quit thinking about the money. Because if you do your job and you do a good job, the money will just show. Any questions?